Is market movers worth investing your hard-earned money into or not? Well, just because it's right for me doesn't necessarily mean it's a good fit for you. And after using it for the last 8 months, I feel like now I have a very good idea of what kind of card investor would benefit a ton from it and what kind of card investor would just be throwing their money down the toilet. And so in this video, I'm going to help clarify which category you fall in so you'll know if market movers is worth trying out or not. So with that being said, welcome back. Now let's get to work. Now, before I get started, if you're not familiar with what market movers is, in an oversimplified nutshell, it's a sports card data tool created by Sports Card Investor to help us investors and collectors see what's going on in the card market by collecting prior eBay sales of thousands of cards and then displaying it in a multitude of ways. Now, the benefit of this tool, as well as other data tools on the market, is to easily understand the past, to spot future trends and opportunities so we can make better informed investment decisions and make more profit and less costly mistakes. Now in this video, I'm not going to go over all the features of market movers because, for one, I don't use all of them. And secondly, by the time you watch this video, I'm sure there will be a couple additional features added to the tool, since that is exactly what happened last time when I did a 60-day review video of market movers back in summer last year. And then they launched a major redesign of the program just a day before I published it on YouTube. But what I will show you is how I use it and how it's helped me invest over $25,000 in recent months with way more confidence and in way less time than if I had to piece all this together myself. So first of all, the feature that really drew me into trying market movers for a month over 8 months ago was the sort by card feature. And the reason why is because I like to see what's on sale and then reverse engineer what card to buy from the results that I see. And when I'm using ComC to flip cards, I'm usually looking up an entire rookie class or a certain player, and then from there, I weed out what I feel is overpriced and then narrow it down to what looks like a good deal. And that strategy has worked really well for me on ComC, and it definitely fits my analytical style of filtering out 99% of what's out there to leave me with a couple diamonds in the rough. When you think of it, it's very similar to how we shop on Amazon. If we are looking to buy a brand new toaster, we probably don't know what brand and model we want to buy, so we go through a series of filters to help us narrow down the choices to the few options that fit best for us. So instead of spending a lot of time searching card by card, I can search through all the deals and pick out the ones that make the most sense for me based on what I expect of that player and what I expect of that card in the next several months. Usually what I like to do is I like to see what has dropped the most over the past 30 days to get a rough idea of what has started to soften, and then take a look at what has dropped the most over the past 60 days to see what has really bottomed out and should be now at its lowest price before trickling or spiking back up in the future. And I do this by both sport and specific players. So if I want to see what players could be on sale, I'll search the entire sport and see what comes up. But if I know that I want to invest in someone like, let's say Kobe Bryant, for example, who has tons of cards in their system, I can sort by the last 30 and 60 days to find a few options that could be good buy low opportunities because its recent sale was so much less than what it had hit just 30 or 60 days before. Something else I use a ton is comparing different grades of the same card against each other to spot which one is the better value buy. And that's because I am a value-based person. I want my dollar to go as far as it can so I can grow my money. And that's why most of the shirts you see me wear, I either got for free or I got at a consignment store or bought on sale and have had for several years, or on a rare occasion, I just deeply regret the purchase and I lose sleep at night thinking of all the money I wasted on it and where it could have gone if I had invested it somewhere else. So I'll look up the card that interests me and see what the price charts show for a PSA 10, a PSA 9, and a BGS 9.5. And from doing this, I've been able to find some BGS 9.5s that are basically touching PSA 9 prices, and I just felt like that was the much better value buy. Now, if I had an unlimited budget, I wouldn't care to calculate down to the dollar, But since that's not the case, I want to make sure every dollar I invest is going towards the card and the variation that I believe has the lowest downside and the highest upside for that given price. One of the best examples of using this research to find deals was late last fall when I noticed that Messi and Ronaldo PSA 9 Prism cards had just plummeted in price over the past few months, but it wasn't going below that $115 to $120 price point. I also noticed that the PSA 10s were selling for 4 times the price, but the pop reports were almost identical, so I didn't feel like paying 4 times the price for a PSA 10 if it wasn't more scarce. So I ended up buying 17 of these cards, feeling confident that they were at their floor, and then I ended up selling them all a few months later for $220 to $290. Now that wasn't like a huge 10x return or anything insane, but it did fit my conservative and more methodical approach and did make me about $2,000 or so. Now before I go on, if this type of research and analysis sounds miserable to you, then perhaps data tools are not a good fit for you. But if it just sounds intimidating, that is totally normal, because even someone like myself who really enjoys it felt totally overwhelmed at first, and I actually almost canceled my membership because I didn't feel like going through the effort to learn how to use it. What I found though is that I don't need to use every aspect of the tool, I just need to make it worth my while, which means it needs to save me at least a few hours per month in researching to pay for itself, and I need to know how to find cards that have way more potential to go up than go down based on sales data, and not just assuming the athlete will play well or get traded and his prices will go up from there. Now, if this sounds like a fun scavenger hunt to find the hidden gems that will make you money, then there's a good chance that you'll get a lot of value and enjoyment from it. I will say though that even if you don't feel like getting into the weeds with all the graphs and charts, there are some really cool other features that I have enjoyed. For example, the price alert feature is pretty sweet because I could set up an alert that notifies me when the card I'm interested in sells at a given price, so I could then make a move on it. For example, maybe I want to know when a Kobe Bryant rookie card sells under $500 because that's the threshold at which I would look at buying one for myself, or the other way around. Maybe I want to know when one sells for $1,000 so I know to list mine for sale. Either way, I see this as saving me a lot of time and effort, and time is the most precious asset that we have in life, at least for me. Now there are other benefits as well, like having access to their Discord and Facebook group where you can ask questions and have some dialogue regarding different investing ideas. To be honest, I don't do any of that stuff. I want to look at a screen as little as possible because I do so much of it, but it's out there in case that's something that interests you. You'll also get emailed every week what cards the Sports Card Investor team is buying, selling, and holding. And for me, I just see that as free education as to how to better use market movers for myself to spot deals, because many times they'll mention opportunities that is based on using pretty advanced tactics, like comparing the values of two players against each other in a certain set in parallel, or using analysis of pop reports to help determine what is a better buy. But honestly, for me, it's just helping me refine my strategy so I could stay a step ahead. One thing I will say real quick is that regardless how you feel about market movers, please consider using some sort of sales history in your investment decisions. The more money that enters the card market, the more there is to lose on a poor investment, because a $50 card 2 years ago is now $500. And right now, a lot of new money coming into the hobby has bailed out a lot of mediocre to poor investments, and that includes some of my own. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so now that we know some of what Market Movers offers, let's see if it's actually worth the cost for you. And here are some of the questions you want to ask yourself. Number one, are you looking to invest in a few select players and cards, or are you open to multiple sports and a lot of different cards? The more cards you consider, the more valuable Market Movers is, because the more data you have access to and the more time you'll end up saving. However, if you're only interested in, let's say, Anthony Davis rookie cards, you could probably piece that information together quite easily. Secondly is, how much is your budget for investing? If you are only investing $100 per month on cards, then percentage-wise, $25 to $50 is a huge investment. However, if you're looking to invest $500 or more per month, then it's not nearly as big of a chunk, and the more money you're investing, the smaller the cost of any data tool actually is, relatively speaking. As a personal example, when Market Movers first came out, I was intrigued by it, but my budget for card investing was really low, and I was just focusing on flipping raw cards on ComC. So a paid data tool that focused on higher end graded cards just didn't make sense to me back then. Next up, think of how much your time is worth. If you make $50 per hour, then 1 hour of work per month will pay for market movers. If by using market movers, it saves you 5 hours per month on research, and then you could use that 5 hours towards working and earning income, you now have $200 extra from that month. $250 from 5 hours of work minus $50 for the cost of the tool. It's the same reason why high achievers have personal assistants and get meal delivery services and hire cleaners. They know what their time is worth, and so they outsource everything that isn't either enjoyable to them or up to that hourly number. Now, if you have plenty of time and enjoy looking everything up manually, then perhaps market movers would not be worth it, at least for the time being. Something else worth bringing up is this. Are you the kind of person that signs up for things or buys things and doesn't actually use the thing? That is a complete waste of money. So if that's you, don't bother, because that is just like signing up for a gym membership in January, but never actually going. By this point, hopefully you're getting close to knowing what side of the fence you are on, but there's something else worth considering that wasn't available the last time I did my Market Movers review video, and that is the 2 levels of memberships that they offer. Last summer when I took the plunge on Market Movers, I was really hesitant to drop $50 per month without much of an introduction because, like I said earlier, I can't stand wasting money, just not part of who I am. Now, there is a light version that is half the price or only about $25 per month. And to be honest, if they had offered this last summer, I would have just tested out the light version for a month to see if I would actually use it and get enough value from it before moving up to Market Movers Pro over time. And then maybe I would have just given that a shot for a month or two and decided which one was worth keeping. Now, as a quick disclaimer, after 8 months of using Market Movers every week, I was contacted by Sports Card Investor to become an affiliate of them, which simply means that they gave me a 20% off promo code, comeback20, to anyone that wants to try the tool for a month. I do get a commission of any purchase used with this code, which obviously helps me a ton and helps everything I'm doing here, but I also wanted this video to be as objective and insightful as possible. So if you go back through my videos since last year and my newsletters that I've sent out over the last 8 months or so, you'll see that I frequently reference and use Market Movers to spot deals and stay ahead of the masses. Now, after all this, if you are still on the fence but want to try it out, what I would recommend doing is trying out the light version for 1 month with the 20% off promo code. And then during that month, try to use the program every single day for at least an hour. Then check out the tutorial videos when signed in under the dashboard and watch the videos they have on the new Market Movers YouTube channel. So at least at the end of the month, you will have a thorough opinion as to whether it's worth continuing it or not. And even if it's not for you, you will have learned so much about sports cards and finding deals, all for about $20, which should pay itself off 100-fold. Now, if you'd like to check out my original review video, you could watch it up here. And if you'd like to see how I used it to help my friend find a couple of great investments that were right for him, check out this video down here, and I will see you guys over there.